Well, for most Canadians, this summer means working from home, on Zoom calls, at your dining room table. But for our next guest, it has meant something far more beautiful and creative.
I think it's safe to say that you will always change. New colors day to day, my friend, you are a hurricane. The look on your face.
Oh, just love her voice. Alessia Cara is joining us this morning to talk about her new album this summer, Live Off the Floor, which launches today. Good morning to you.
Hi, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you? You're in your kitchen, I think, right?
I am, yeah.
This album's really close to your heart, and it's got to be so special. You wrote it while you were touring. It's being released during a pandemic, but it does have all your favorite songs as live versions. So tell us about the creative process.
Yeah, so we really got back to like the essence of the songs, you know, when we were doing this, and like really just kind of going back to the way that they were written, which is usually just starts with like a rough demo or like a couple instruments or me and my guitar. And so we got to really just strip it back and get back to the emotion of the song and the songs. And even I found that like even singing them, took on like a whole new meaning. A lot of them became more nostalgic, more melancholic, and it was fun to get to do that.
Why do you think they took that turn, Alessia?
I don't know. I think it's something about strings for me. It's something about like a live band and slowing down the pace of the song or the tempo of a song and adding strings. I feel like if you add strings to anything, it just makes it sound way more introspective. So
I tend to agree. This summer looks a lot different than you probably imagined it would when you were first working on this album. And because of that, you had to change the way that it rolled out. Tell us about the changes that you made.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think everything changed. I mean, look at this, like I'm in my kitchen right now. But also, I knew early on that I wanted to attach some sort of charitable aspect to this project or do something good with it. But I think as like closer to the deadline of the release, the world just completely flipped upside down. And so I decided to donate all of my personal proceeds to Save the Children, which is an organization that's helped kids across over 100 countries have basic needs like food, shelter, education, healthcare, in hopes that it can help all the vulnerable communities that need it right now.
I find it really interesting that during this pandemic time, I have observed that people will go to their natural defaults when everything else is taken away. And I think it says a lot about you that your natural default is to give back to people who are less fortunate. So it's great to see that. You own the Juno 2020 Awards, Matt. You had 3 wins, 6 nominations, Album of the Year, Pop Album of the Year, Songwriter of the Year. I want to share with everybody, in case they missed it, your reaction on that night.
And the Juno goes to Alessia. And the Juno goes to...
How cool is it to get to watch it from home in my blanket cape?
Isn't that great? Instead of like the heels and everything else that goes on, you just get to be cozy.
Exactly, yeah.
Tell us about how you were feeling that night and what it meant for you to win all of those awards at the Junos.
Oh my God, it was amazing. It was so like such a trip to, first of all, just be watching it like I used to, like when I was a kid. But this time I was nominated instead of just watching as a fan. Crazy. It's so amazing. I think the songwriter one is always a little closer to my heart just because that's, you know, what I do for a living and I pour my heart and soul into my music. I know that sounds very cheesy, but it's the truth. And so getting acknowledged for my words and my feelings is really amazing. So that was a special one.
You're releasing the album now, but you wrote the songs for this album while you were touring last year. What was that like to be performing, but then also, you know, which is a lot of lights and a lot of activity, and then also having to be quiet and do writing at the same time?
It's always a challenge. I think there's like a weird cognitive dissonance that happens because on one end you have to have all this adrenaline and, you know, energy. And then on the other end, you have to be reflective enough and introspective enough, like you said, to write music and get in my head. But I feel like I'm a person that goes through a lot in my head all the time. So it's not that hard to like pick up stuff. It's actually very therapeutic for me on the road to like let it out because you have all this pent up energy, you know, so it's good to release it through songwriting.
What have been some of the positives for you, Alessia, by being at home during this pandemic time? Things that either you've discovered or hobbies that you've picked up?
A bunch of things, to be honest. I think, I'm coming off of like a whole year tour. So getting to be home with my family is always really nice because I don't think we'll have this time ever again. My parents weren't working, my brother wasn't in school. So it was the first time in so long and probably, the last time in a while that we'll have, that time to be together. So that was nice.
Oh, I love that. I'm dying to know what's in your fridge, but we've run out of time. So we'll have to leave it there.
You don't want to look in there, it's a mess. That mom would kill me.
Well, then it matches my fridge and everybody else's. Alessia, thanks so much for joining us today. Good luck with the album.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.